What is going on, everybody? Disappointing night for the Sixers. Welcome to Nothing But Net, Philadelphia 76ers Postgame Show on Stream Punk Entertainment. I am Steve with my main man, Mitch Koski. Make sure you guys check us out at our ats on the screen. Mitch, Sixers lose in overtime. They gave us hope for one game for a little bit. What do you think? How you feeling after this one?
It's heartbreaking. It
Yeah.
is. But the one thing that kind of bothers me the most is kind of with Tyrese Maxey in a way. Like in the first half, he's just cold, man. He finished 3 for
Invisible.
12 in the first half again in
Yep.
back-to-back games. And in the third quarter, he goes off for like 11 some odd points. Fourth
Yep.
quarter, he does this thing. I'm like, where is this in the first half? That bothers me like so much. I don't know about you.
No, I'm with it. I'm 100% with you. It's I was thinking the same thing. Invisible, kinda in the first half. What, he picked up 2 fouls in like 3 minutes
Yep.
to start the game. So I don't know if that took away from his what's it called? His aggressiveness and everything, but it was a little disappointing, especially having not played on, what was it, Monday,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. You good?
Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yeah. There you are. You're good.
So it was Monday, right, that they played.
Yep.
That they what? It was like the whole bench. But maybe it was good because Edwards had moments tonight. He hit
Yeah.
some big shots in the fourth quarter that helped him get to overtime. But let's start this from the top. Pretty much nobody available. Embiid, of course, is out. Caleb Martin out. Lowry out. Drummond out. So it's another night where Yabu is kind of weighing the load down low in the paint. But how do you think Bona did in his minutes?
Bona did what he had to do. Basically, he basically barely plays when you have Drummond and Embiid out there. So basically, he's just doing what he's capable of doing, and everyone wants him in there for like shot blocking and stuff. But I just still don't think he's ready for that. But
Yeah, and it's these sort of cases he's kind of like thrown in there and forced to kind of get these sort of minutes. But in the first quarter, New York Knicks 12-0 difference in fast break points, and then just shooting lights out from three in the first quarter. Knicks were up by 9 after the first quarter. How do you think the what was he calling them? The New York Nova Boys or whatever?
Yeah.
How do you think they did?
It's typical Nova basketball, man. It's typical Nova basketball. They're just doing their thing, the cohesiveness, the chemistry, getting to the right spots. It helps. Gee, I wish we had one. We did for like 12 seconds.
12 seconds, right? Literally, like
Literally like 12
coffee.
seconds.
Not even a cup of coffee.
No.
How do you
no.
how do you how do you feel about the Sixers' lack of depth in shooting? Because I mean, Eric Gordon, he played well in the third quarter. He hit a couple threes, but I mean, that's who you have starting. Eric Gordon. You know, how much does it bother you with the Sixers' just lack of depth, especially in the shooting department?
It bothers me so much, dude. Like in the first half, the Knicks had 20 points off the bench. We finished with 8. We finished with 8 points off the bench in the first half. And when I was doing my play-by-play on my channel, right? Me and my guy Nicky C, shout out to him. I said the X factor was Eric Gordon. That was my X factor for this game because of his shooting ability. If he's hot, he can hit. But if he's not, ice cold, no defense, we're done. He's basically an old guy walking up and down the court.
No, and I say it too. It's the nights where he's on, it's great, you know.
Yep.
But when he's not on, not only are you not getting any sort of contribution from him on the defensive end, the only thing he's good for is really shooting threes. And then if you're not getting that from him on certain nights, yeah, tonight I would say he had 14 points,
Yep.
3 for 5 shooting from three. So, I mean, that's what he helped them tonight, force it to overtime. What'd you think of kind of a side thing? What'd you think of Karl Anthony Towns repping the Eagles gear and then switching it after halftime to Knicks gear?
I knew he was an Eagles fan going into this game. I know he is. I know Brunson is, and stuff like that. But when you look at it, this was mainly it felt like a Knicks home game, dude. It felt like a Knicks home game with all the fans saying MVP at the foul line. So I'm not mad at Karl Anthony Towns for doing that. I am not. He can rep his new team, rep his boys and stuff, rep the fans. Good, do that. The Eagles are just going to win on Sunday.
I was shocked. I was shocked that he wore it. And then Brunson was like, "Oh yeah, I'm mad at him." It's a different time, man. You would have never seen something like that happen back in the day wearing another city's team.
It
But
kind of
what about Paul George?
Huh?
Go ahead.
Paul George? But really quick, it kind of reminds me of, remember Mike Scott from back in the day on the Sixers?
Yeah.
He's a Commanders fan. So he went to an Eagles game wearing a Commander jersey. My God, that was
Who
rough
were they
for
playing?
him.
Were they who were they? He went to which game was it that he went to? He went to
Eagles. It was Eagles versus Commanders.
Oh, wearing it. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's the difference, though. He wasn't on the bench. He wasn't on the bench of the Knicks. You know what I mean? Of the away team. That's why I thought it was funny.
It is funny. Watch someone make a short of that with the thing. It's going to be all over the internet.
Oh yeah,
but,
definitely.
With Paul
100%.
George, dude. With Paul George, he started off cold again. Like this guy just doesn't have it in him. And in this game, he just caught fire in the second half. He finished with 26 points, something we needed, but he still shot off 9 for 20, 3 for 8. Not exactly what we need from him. We just need he did good tonight. It's back. Can we get this consistently? Which I doubt. I don't think we can get this consistently from him at all. But glad you showed up. Finally.
And it didn't even feel like where were those 26 points? When I'm looking at it, I'm looking at his box score, and I'm like, man, I don't really remember him. And I know it's probably could be overshadowed from how good Maxey was in the second half. And I'm going to harp on it because now I want to talk about the second half. It really does, like what you said. It bothers me. It sucks that it takes a little bit for Maxey to get into the game.
Yes.
And that's where you want Paul George and that's what he's here for. That's what he's getting paid for. That's what you wish Embiid was there for, to draw those double teams down in the paint and then be able to kick it off to Maxey, either cutting or shooting a three, for a wide open three, to let him get into the rhythm that way instead of jacking up, going 0 for 5 from 3 or committing 2 early fouls. It's a shame because then you get third quarters like what the Sixers had, 6 for 10 shooting from 3, 13 points from Maxey, and then Paul George had 9, and then you get that buzzer beater. I mean, what were your thoughts on that third quarter? You were on your live stream. What were your thoughts, and how'd you feel at the end of the third with 38-point third quarter from the Sixers? It was crazy.
Like I said before, they're mostly a second half team now. Like before last week, they were inconsistent from the end of the game stretch. They did not know how to close out. But then the last couple of games, they know how to close out. It's actually kind of crazy when that happens. Like flip of a coin. It is just crazy. But yeah, they did what they had to do. They got to overtime against if I'm a Knicks fan, I'll be kind of upset by this. Because you had these young guys go up against you, and you're supposed to be like a top 2 team in the East, top 3. So that's how I would have taken it.
No, I can hear the excuse. Well, Karl Anthony Towns wasn't there, so. We got a
Yeah.
comment coming in from Nick. Best effort I've seen from this team in a while, but still wasn't enough. Yeah, no. And these are the nights where you miss Embiid 100%. You miss him every night, but these are the nights, especially because it's only a 6-point loss in overtime. You know that he's going to make up for that, that gap, and it sucks. What do you say to Nick's comment, Mitch?
It's actually funny because he was in my chat during the
Mhm.
first half, and he goes, "That was the worst. This is worse than what the Thunder did against us." But now it's like the best effort I've seen from the team in a while in the second half. So I'm like, dude, what are you saying? Because you just said in my live stream, "Oh, this is the worst. Now it's the best." Okay.
He's just like the Sixers. He's a second half. He's a second half
Yeah.
guy. Complete turnaround, complete 180. What do
Yeah.
you what do you think about these minutes that guys like Justin Edwards and Downton Jr. I mentioned his buzzer beater. 14 minutes for Downton Jr., 35 minutes for Justin Edwards, 4 for 6 shooting, 2 for 4 from 3, 10 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds. I, I mean, is it kind of like a blessing in disguise for these guys to be able to get these minutes and contribute to the team the way that they are?
Yes and no, because with Justin Edwards, he was on fire from last game. Like last game, he dropped what 20 something, 20 plus, higher
Mm-hmm.
20s, and then he just kept on doing that. The momentum, the consistency, just kept on going. Kept down with the buzzer beater. He was even questioning how that went in. He
He
was
caught glass
questioning.
though. He caught glass. I heard it.
I wish I could hear that. I wish I had good hearing, but yeah, the young guys got some playing time. Bona, exactly what they did. But yesterday, I said on the postgame show and during my live stream, I thought all the guys would be back. I thought MB would be back, Drummond would be back, and these young guys wouldn't get much playing time. And boy, was I wrong. I was actually wrong thinking Embiid will be back. Wow.
We got we got some more comments coming in. Before I get to them, though, I want to ask you: do you think that the NBA needs to step in and maybe do something about Embiid or investigate into how it's being handled? I mean, you got all these guys out. Like, is the training staff that bad that all these guys can't get back and that all these guys are constantly injured? Or are they really just trying to tank and they're not good at even doing that?
How many times have they done investigations on us within the past decade? Like, how many times are we going to keep
It's
on having
crazy.
to do this and it does nothing? Like, when you look at the Sixers team, it goes back to Pat Croce, like selling this team to this. Like, it goes back to him. So when you go to investigations, with Colangelo and all those guys, Hinkie, it's just never going to end, man. It's never going to end. But I think they did. Didn't they do that in the preseason too? I felt like they did that
Yeah,
before in season.
in the
So
preseason, yeah. But now it's getting to the point where, last week they said that Embiid wasn't playing because they were prepping him for this week for key games against the Thunder and then key games again, and then tonight's game against the Knicks. And then, of course, nothing from him. So it's frustrating. And then you have performances like this where this should have been a win. This should have been a win.
it should have been a win, but the Sixers, they did everything they could. I'm not mad at this loss at all. I'm more mad about the last night loss than this.
And Nick saying one of the better games Nick Nurse has coached all year. He actually left Edwards and Downton on the floor instead of bringing Eric Gordon's bum ass back in the game. No, and I 100% agree. What do you think about Nick's comment here?
Yeah, it's one of the best games. He stepped up to the plate with the minimum that he had to choose from the bench. So did the best he could. That's one of the best games. I completely agree from that.
I will counter this one argument. The challenge on Maxi's second foul
Yeah.
3 minutes into the game, I will say was a bad move. I get it. You're trying to argue, your all-star and superstars second foul called, but that was the
Yeah.
only thing that I think maybe you wish that I wish that he would have kept in his back pocket. Nick's also saying the first half was rough for sure, and I still stand by that. The way the game was going, it felt worse than the Thunder, but I don't think anyone expected them to come out in the third with that energy. He was on your stream, so I'll let you
Yeah.
comment on this one.
He's my guy. He actually commented he's going to be on my stream with me and Philly halftime on Friday to talk about the Sixers. So,
And
yeah,
boom, there
he's
it
going to
is.
be.
There it is.
Yeah, he's going to be there. So, again, it's just like it's crazy. You want to hear a
What do you
conspiracy theory? Actually, I have a
go ahead? Here
conspiracy
we go.
theory.
Here we go.
So, I told this to a bunch of people, and they all agreed with me to an extent. So, I think Nick Nurse is not being like he doesn't have control of his lineup. I feel like it's Daryl Morey and Josh Harris. It's kind of like a puppeteer, kind of like what they did with Nick Sirianni back in the day. So I just feel like he wants to play these guys, but the higher ups are telling him, "Oh, you got to play this guy more because of the money, because of the contracts. Look at the Kyle Lowry contract. Look at the Eric Gordon contract. Look at all these contracts. Paul George, his contract, for example." And then you go back during the before preseason, Nick Nurse was in the press conference, and they were asking him what was going on with Embiid during that time. He was like, "They haven't told me anything. I don't know anything." So he's not being communicated to, and he's not controlled of this lineup.
Do you think Nurse survives this season?
I don't know. I really don't know. Everyone's begging him to get canned, but then it's just like if you get him canned now, who do you got? Like this
Yeah.
assistant coaching staff is still garbage. So for me, honestly, gotta wait and see how the year unfolds. Gotta wait and
Because it's a
see.
shame. I think it's a
Yeah.
shame that these are the cards that he's been dealt for this season, and kind of goes into your conspiracy theory, and I'm sure there's a few others who kind of agree with you for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you
Like a lot of people have been saying, Mitch, you're right. You're right on that. I haven't thought about it. But
It makes you
yeah.
think. It makes you
It,
think when you're seeing the way the season goes, and it's funny because this time of year, what is everyone thinking about? Everyone's focus is the Eagles, in the city. So uh, they kind of go, all these problems and everything kind of go undercover for a little bit and pushed under the rug until after football season. And then you have the All-Star break. And it's funny how people don't really think about these sort of things, except for people like yourself who, then you got everyone thinking, dang, Mitch is on to something. He's on to
right?
something.
It's just crazy because I haven't thought about that a lot since we had Nick Sirianni. Like back in the day, I've been thinking about Nick Sirianni. Glenn Rivers, I thought about it for a little bit because you
Oh,
know how
Glenny.
bad that turned out. Always playing Tobias Harris over the young guys. So I've been like it's been like this for a couple years now with me.
Nick chiming in. What do you guys think of Deuce McBride tonight? I love that. I love that guy. He's one of the best shooters in the league, and timely.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing. It's when he hits the shots, and his energy on the defensive end, I think too is key for the Knicks. What do you think about Deuce
Yeah. I
McBride and Nick's
look
comment?
like I said in my live stream, Deuce McBride is so underrated. This guy can put up 30 any given night when he's given a chance. Nobody can stop him. It's the consistency. I want to see him in a 3-point contest. That's where I want to see him in there. I don't know if he's good because there's so many dang on good, great shooters in this league. Like we had Carl Anthony Towns win a 3-point contest. So I don't think we're going to see Deuce McBride in that situation, but love the guy. Can we have him? We'll give you Kyle Lowry and all these guys.
I was gonna say the 3-point contest is like the slam
Yeah.
dunk contest now, right?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
That's what everyone gets excited for now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited
It's
for
nice having
that.
a guy
I'm
like
excited
that.
for the skill challenge.
The skills challenge is fun too.
I love that.
It's a shame what the dunk contest has turned into.
Don't even get me started on that.
But wouldn't it be nice to be able to have a guy like Deuce McBride off the bench, 22 minutes consistently? 22 minutes, 4 for 5 shooting, 3 for 4 from
Well,
three rebounds, 3 assists, 13 points. I mean, he's giving
sorry
you
to burst your
something.
sorry to burst your bubble, but we kind of had that player, Jerry McCain. We kind of had that player in Jerry McCain
Yeah,
from time to time. He was
yeah.
starting a lot of times, but whenever he was off that bench, he was still lead. I think is he still leading the rookies in points per game?
Oh, I gotta take a look.
Like
It was
that's the thing for
it's
me.
been a
If he is, like, dang, like
week
that's crazy, right?
yeah,
It's
week because he's been out for
a
what?
month.
Yeah, decent little
Yeah.
time with that knee surgery. And that's
Hmm.
a shame too, man, because he was in such a groove. And you're right. You're 100% right. He was that guy. Whether it started off, whether he was that guy contributing as a starter or coming off the bench.
Yeah.
How much does Hart rub off on guys like Deuce McBride, who look at Hart's stat line: 49 minutes, 4 for 9 shooting, 17 rebounds, 12 assists, 10 points. I mean, it's kind of like a mini version, McBride stat line, and what he gives you, the energy, you know, learning from a guy like that. I mean, it's got
Yeah.
to be doing something, at practice, right?
Like I said in my live stream for this game, I said the Sixers were going to lose in rebounding due to Josh Hart. Josh Hart hustles. He gets the ball. He will die for it. He does whatever it takes for your team to win. And you see that off the bench, getting 17 boards. Like, he did this all during the playoffs against us, and we still couldn't stop him. Like, he's going to, I'm telling you, he's the guy you want to have on your team, but you don't want to play against.
No.
He's like a mini Draymond Green, if you want to
Mm-hmm.
be frank.
And our version of that, the Sixers version of that, is Kelly Oubre, but
Yes.
you're
Yep.
not getting the assists out of Kelly Oubre that you're getting out of the Draymond Greens, the Harts, and everything like those sort of
Right.
players overall. That true triple double sort of player, and then overtime, just too much Brunson, right? That's
Yeah.
where you really see the 38 points, the defensive pressure, the timely buckets, um, devastating buckets from Brunson. What do you
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on Brunson's night? I kind of talked about it. Maxey versus Brunson was going to be the fun
Yeah, I retweeted
matchup,
that. Yeah, yeah.
and they lived up to it. But Brunson got the better of it tonight.
So, like I said during my live stream, keep on going back to that because I said a
Here
lot
we
of stuff
go.
that come into the conversation. There are levels in this game. There are levels in your own conference. Brunson is at the peak. It's him and Trae Young. And you could throw Darius Garland in there if you want to. You could throw Donovan
Yeah,
Mitchell in that category. Maxey is not there. Maxey is not there. He was, but then he fell off due to his past 2 weeks. He's not even going to be an all-star this year. So there are levels to this, and Brunson knows how to close games. He's been doing that since Nova. He's been doing that for his whole life. Always been
yeah.
the guy to take the last shot. Always been the guy to come up clutch. That's the guy we wanted Tyrese Maxey to become, but he's gone too tunnel vision. Like he always goes to the rim. He doesn't pass. He doesn't look for the open opportunity. Jalen Brunson does. That is why I will always have Brunson over Maxey, just because he makes the team better. And look, it proves my point.
He's the go-to guy
Yes,
on the team. Last
yes,
shot, and then it just shows is Maxey's not ready to be that guy, that number one option on the
no,
team yet.
no.
Kyle, our guy Kyle chiming in, surprised they came back to put it into overtime. Yeah,
Yep.
On national television, ESPN, they made the game worthwhile to the fans that came out for it. So Nick Maxey shot selection needs to be better in the fourth. Yeah,
Agreed.
and he was feeling himself from the third, and it was a heat
Agreed.
check almost all fourth. So
Yeah. I agree with that
we kind of
1000%.
we kind of already gone over a lot of this stat line.
Yep.
Yabu, he just you hear his name a lot throughout the game, and he's everywhere on the court.
Yeah.
But then you go back into his stat line, and it's like, man, why are you only putting 8 shots up? And again, I know he's probably tired and he's dealing with a lot, having to weigh a lot of the load in the paint on his shoulders. But do you think offensively he needs to be more of an option, more than 8 shots, especially how well he can get going from 3?
Like I said before, right now he has an argument to be the third option right now because Paul George has been slacking as of late. So you can honestly have him be up there, get you a bucket. He can space the floor. He can shoot the 3. We've seen that. And he's a perfect guy for the Sixers team. It's just that we've been injured. This whole team has been injured, and we haven't really seen Yabu with like a Drummond. We haven't seen a Yabu with an Embiid and stuff like that. But he proves that he can get it done. He can get it done.
Nick, halftime actually wasn't upset by this loss. Shocking. He's usually always mad.
You know why? Because he has the Knicks winning it all. And the Sixers went up to that. I'm like, dude, no. I'm like, no, I got the Celtics winning it all.
Just like those MVP chants. Oh, that was embarrassing. It was disgusting hearing those MVP. And it wasn't just like a light MVP chant. It was a loud MVP chant. And we're only 39, 40 games into the season and get MVP chants like that already before the All-Star break in your home.
Yeah.
Ah, man. Is there anything else? Any other players you want to talk about? And what about OG Anube and how he played?
Anunoby,
He dunks at Anube.
Mm-hmm. I love him, dude. I wanted him to come on the Sixers in this offseason. I wanted OG Anunoby over Paul George, over Kevin Durant, over everyone, just because of his defense, and he knows he's a better fit. He's a better fit than Paul George and Kevin Durant, in my opinion. And he shows he can lock up. He can lock up your best player, who's a center. He locked up Joel Embiid at the foul line. So that's why I wanted him for his defense, especially down low to give Embiid a break. But hey, he did it. He didn't shoot well from 3, but he nailed a big one in the overtime or fourth quarter. I forget which quarter it was. But he did his thing. I wanted OG Anunoby from the get-go. I wanted him.
Appreciate you, Nick.
Yeah,
there you go. Nick saying the same thing. He's such a winner.
Yeah.
And then you got a guy like Achua who can come off the bench for 30 minutes and give you key shots, solid rebounding, 10 points off the bench. I mean, they're a well put together team. And Nick talked about him earlier. He thought that Cameron Payne played a decent game in the 7 minutes that he played. And you're always going to get that sort of effort out of Cameron Payne. So it sucks to say, but this is a good and well-built New York Knicks team who's coached pretty well by Tibbs.
Yeah. Yeah, especially when it comes to the playoffs, he plays the starters like 40 to 45 minutes a night. And then that's what costs him.
He plays his guys.
Yeah. Can Nick Nurse play ours?
He's got to have them. He's got to have them available most nights. What is it? I saw it's been 10 games this season. We're at game 39, and 10 of them have been played with our big 3 of Embiid, Maxey, and Paul George.
Embiid has missed 13 games this year.
And what did you have at the beginning of the season for how many games they would play together? What was your over under?
I think I was
20?
being generous. I think I said like 30.
Did you? Okay.
I think I said
It's looking
30.
what now. Here we go. Now what is your what's your what's your over under at now? Do they get to 20?
15.
15?
15.
I like it.
15, bro. I hate it. I hate this team. Can you imagine if you bought tickets to this game?
You,
Can you
you were
imagine
happy
that?
though. It ended up being can you imagine if you sold your tickets for this game? Maybe. The few good games that the Sixers are going to give you, I ask you now, instead, if you sold those tickets, you'd be a little pissed. I'd be like, damn.
Yeah. I saw something on Twitter from Keith Pompey. The whole the arena was empty before the game even started.
Mm-hmm.
The game even started, the whole thing was empty. Usually by that time, everyone's in their seats and ready to go. But
People were like,
that's when the Knicks fans
I don't
came
know.
running in.
Do I really want to deal with this cold, and deal with the Sixers, or do I want to stay at home? It was, they made a business decision tonight.
Oh my God, yeah.
Nick,
I'm not going to a game at all this year.
no, no, not unless at the end of the season there's a nice little run they're on. Nick
Yeah.
saying, I think the Knicks can beat Boston this year. Cleveland is the team they might want to worry about. Those guys are clicking. Yeah, they're another team, young, well built team in the East. Let's
I
run
love the
down.
Cavs, dude. I love the Cavs.
Yeah, Cavs are built both in the front court and back court. Nice bench. Um, exactly how you need to be built for today's NBA. 3-and-D guys who can spread you out defensively, make you guard the three from 4 different positions at a time. It sucks. It sucks that you see teams excelling like that.
Yeah. Let me ask you this though. In the beginning of the season, when everyone was making their predictions where the Sixers were going to lie, where did you have them? I had them like third, and I'm looking like an idiot.
Sixers, I had them 4th.
Yeah. See, you're better off than you're better than me. I had them third.
Not by much. Not by much.
Nah.
Because I had Boston, and I think I had New York ahead of them.
Yeah.
And I want to say I had the Magic.
I had the
Having a good
Magic in there.
season.
I had the Magic in that. The
That
Cavs,
was
I did not.
my
The Cavs, I had like 5. I had the Cavs at 5.
boy, were we wrong. Boy, were
Evan
we
Mobley, he's going to win Most Improved Player. Evan Mobley's going to win Most Improved Player.
I can see that. Nick, I had them 6 seed. I'm pretty sure when we did our stream, Mitch, I had them 11.
Yeah.
Now just missing the play. And yeah, I think they're going to be stuck, Nick, in
I
this
had them
11th spot
now. I
for
got
some
them
time.
10. I have them 10, and I'm being generous.
You got them making the play in?
Playing at the bottom seed, yeah.
Man,
I'm
that'd be
being
something.
so generous right now.
Embiid's got to be there. You must have Embiid then coming and playing a
I
nice
had
stretch of
to.
games.
I'm trying to be positive, but it's so
For
difficult
Sixers
right
Nation,
now.
you have to be.
And like I'm so realistic compared to like the Sixers fans don't even get me started. But I just had them like in the 10th right now. Crazy.
Well, speaking of some of these other teams,
Yeah.
let's get into some of the scores around the league.
Hit.
Bucks and Magic. We were just speaking about that Magic team. Bucks beat them down 122-93. Pelicans get the win over the Mavericks 119-116. Grizzlies over the Spurs 129-115.
Wembanyama
The
had 8
Bulls.
blocks.
Did he? Holy jeez.
In the first
He's
half.
incredible.
In the first half.
I'll hold my hand up. I thought he was going to be a bust just because I've seen these guys. All these guys are going to be like this now, coming out of whether they're overseas or they're coming out of college. They're all freakishly tall athletes. Yeah, he is absurdly tall, but I just thought he was going to be a bust. And boy, he proved me wrong.
Now, I've been watching Wembanyama for the last couple of years. Like, I have a friend of mine who gives me like these websites to watch them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like he's been playing like men amongst boys throughout his whole career and that through his whole high school and process, and now he's doing that here. And that's like I've known this from Wembanyama. I'm like, guys, be on the lookout. He's going to be in the MVP race in the next couple of years, and he's already there now.
So did he be your most improved player?
Who did I did awards in the beginning of the year with my guys from Pick and Roll podcast. Let me see here. Who did I have? It's gonna bother me here. I had. Oh, it's on G. Forget it. I think I had Mobley, but yes, I can see Wembanyama there.
Yeah. I was gonna say you said Mobley earlier. Yeah, I can see them giving
Yeah,
it to
yeah,
him just because of the name helps, for the
yeah,
league, and ratings are down and all those sort of things. Um,
yeah.
let's get back into
Uh,
the scores. Bulls. Hawks did the Sixers a favor and beat the Bulls to keep them 2 games ahead of the Sixers in the 10th spot.
yeah,
Hawks win 110-94. Raptors beat the Celtics 110-97. And then those are all the games that are final now. You got Lakers and Heat tied up 30 apiece with about 3 minutes left in the first. Warriors and Timberwolves are on ESPN now. Warriors are up 47-33. And then the Jazz and Hornets midway through the third. Jazz are up 76-63. And then the Rockets, your surprise team, man, in the West. They're up on the
yeah.
Nuggets big by 22 now, 82-60 midway through the third. What do you think about the Rockets and rumors that maybe Devin Booker might be a trade rumor there to go to Houston?
I'm for it because Houston has a bunch of all these guys who are trade assets. To pair Devin Booker with Sengun as a 1-2. Ponzio's is a diner I'd like to go to around my area.
Oh,
So
okay.
he says that all the time. Yeah, Ponzio's, I go there every week. So yeah, it's like a
That's your
diner.
spot.
That's basically
That's your
yeah,
spot.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's my spot. I will go there with a friend of mine. I'll go there with my dad or whatever. So yeah, but with Devin Booker, imagine him being with Sengun. Like he has never been with a big man like Sengun. He's been with Durant, he's been with Bradley Beal, but when you look at big man, Sengun is like a mini Jokic. Like I would do that in a
yeah.
heartbeat. If I were Houston, I would do that in a heartbeat. If I were Phoenix, I would say hell no because he's been there from the get go. He's
They're
been there from
struggling
the
though.
rock bottom, like bottom dollar. He's been there.
How many first would
Oh,
you have to give up
you
for
gotta do
Devin
the Rudy
Booker?
Gobert Hall. You gotta do at least
Yeah,
4.
2 things that make me think of Mitch, Netflix the
Ah,
rapper, and Bonzia's Diner. There you go. So
so yeah,
everyone, you're the guy. You're the guy at the diner at Ponzia's.
it's so funny because we go into this bar section and it's the same people every time. It's the same people every time, and then you're like, oh, you just talk to them. It's like great. It's great, but Netflix, unbelievable. YouTube, check them out.
Well, Mitch, this was a good post game show. Just wish it was on better terms.
Yeah, me too.
Sixers Sixers get the L by 6 in overtime on a good night by Maxey, good second half by Maxey, but just too much from Brunson. Knicks win 125-119. Mitch, where can everybody find you at for the rest of this week and what you got going on over here at Stream Punk and then your other channel as well?
So right now you can find me on my main Mitch Toxie. I do Sixers, a little bit of Eagles, but mostly Sixers over there. My second channel, MK Meets World, blowing up over there. I do reaction videos, gameplay, everything there. On Stream Punk, I got Fly Like an Eagle podcast tomorrow at 4. Where I'm gonna break down the matchup against the Packers and then the Rams, and then Hardcore Sports is like my own little group, my own little network and stuff. So, and we're actually getting a gaming channel over there as well. So, a lot of stuff. A lot of
There
stuff.
we go. Mitch is always doing something crazy. So guys, always on the move, always thinking of something. So make sure you guys go follow Mitch, and you guys can follow me at Soldier Steve 247. And make sure you guys go like, follow, share all of the Stream Punk channels, especially the Pennsylvania one. Trying to get that going with all of the Philadelphia and Pittsburgh post-game shows we got going on. So, guys, Mitch, thanks for joining me tonight. And all the commenters, thank you for chiming in. Sixers lose. Sixers lose. Got to get a better result next game out. So have a good night, everyone. Talk to you later, Mitch.
Yep.